Yes, and I think that's a shame that that the governments of Europe, I had that they don't think they have much of a choice, and I think that's a key insight that you just gave to me, Yuri, is that there's this intergovernmental solidarity where even the United States, who we're not part of the European Union, and we've certainly done our share, that's for sure, for Europe in the last century. But even now, we're trying to bail them out through the IMF and through these currency swaps of some unknown amount, which amounts to really just a handout because we're buying the euro at a previously high price, which is we're trying to support the euro to keep it from falling. I'm not really sure why we're trying to do that. I don't think it really makes any sense for us. But it is a shame. It seems like that the United States is being dragged into this, and that kind of brings us into our next issue that I'd like to talk to you about, Yuri, and that is this, do you think that this sort of contagion can spill over to the United States? And kind of forgetting for a moment, I know you've said that, we're in kind of, our finances are nothing to talk about, but do you think that this is something that is going to cross the Atlantic and affect us, and how would that happen?
Oh, I see it happening. I would use the present term for what's happening right now, because what is socialism? Socialism is an overblown welfare and warfare state, and that's, I think, where we're heading to in full speed. Government is taking over automobile industry. We have government motors. We have government banking. We have government insurance industry. Now government is taking over healthcare, which is almost 1/5 of our gross domestic product. Now they will, with their cap and trade legislation, they would take over energy industry. So this is I'm kind of not a great optimist about that. There is an old saying that pessimist is a better informed optimist, and unfortunately that's what I see. I see government taking over everything.
Yeah, that's I believe, unfortunately, that you are right. I would like to see of course, I think we all have our own program that we would like to see the United States adopt, which is pretty much 180 degrees from what they're doing right now. As for what's happening in Europe and what the actions the United States should take, my opinion is that we should sort of wish them well, but not interfere, because I'd like to just remind the listener that I think the greater, longer-term problem with Europe is they don't know they have not yet agreed the kind of unity that they really are willing to accept. Actually, when Yuri and I were talking prior to the broadcast, Yuri used the term, there are federalists and anti-federalists in Europe, just as there were federalists and anti-federalists in the early days of the newly formed United States. And of course, the federalists in the United States were those that wanted a strong central government, and the anti-federalists, led by Thomas Jefferson, were those that said no, the United States federal government would have strictly limited powers, and that's it. We've agreed upon that in the Constitution. But just as happened in the United States, in Europe, the federalists of Europe are just wanting to create a larger, more powerful, and I believe socialistic bureaucracy at another level. And the way I see this, Yuri, perhaps you could comment, is I just see this as the poor citizens of Europe are having another parasitic level of bureaucracy that they must support on top of their already heavy national governments.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there are some European countries which practiced, I would say, financial discipline and were kind of fiscally responsible. Now they are being accused by the bureaucrats of Brussels that they have undue tax privileges, for example, that they don't tax enough their people. They're being, for example, Estonia or Latvia being accused that they need a tax reform. They need to tax everybody the same rates as the social democracies of Western Europe tax their people. So definitely, this is the uniform taxation. There's plenty of kind of planning, central planning, is emanating from Brussels. The Prime Minister of Estonia, former Prime Minister of Estonia, Mart Laar, a very good economist, he even wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal about this with a self-descriptive title, From One Union to Another, meaning from Soviet Union to European Union. Because definitely this comparison is not perfect, because European Union is not as bad as Soviet Union, but there are tendencies in European Union to create a centralized big government.
Yes,
And
at least
actually,
at the present.
I wanted to ask you, Yuri, that in particular is concerning to me. I wanted your opinion as to what do you think is the likelihood that we're going to see that being openly discussed, openly debated, and practical moves towards a central European government in the near term?
With the practical steps, I think that now what Hayek, the great Austrian economist, he usually would say that the government usually creates a problem, and so to solve this problem, you need even more government. And definitely the bureaucrats in Brussels, as well as in Washington, D.C. or everywhere else, they are kind of problem profiteers. I mean, if you have a crisis, whatever crisis is, it is used to expand the functions of government, and the same thing I think with the Greek bailout. Now they have a lot of commissions and committees in Europe already discussing what to do next, what to do with Portugal, what to do with Spain, no, like that. However, I would say that the real problem of Europe and the real problem in the United States is labor markets. In the United States, we still have the most flexible labor market among industrialized market economies. So that's why we don't have these problems as bad as they have. However, the rigidity of labor market in almost everywhere in Europe, except hard-working countries like Germany or even Scandinavian countries, or United Kingdom.
I apologize. I'm going to have to interrupt you. We're going to be coming back in just a second, folks. We'll have Yuri talk a little bit more about these problem profiteers and who will bail out America. Please stay with us.